What? No, everything's cool.
Okay.
Everything's cool.
It's okay. Stay frosty.
Oh, there they are.
What the hell are you doing?
Now I'm making noise. I'm getting into these Oreos, man.
Why are you eating?
Careful,
I tried
Ivan.
to eat before.
We don't want you getting the diabetes.
No, I'll be fine. I'm only having 3. I'm good.
3 packages?
3 lines, okay? I'm having all 3 lines in the butt.
3 lines of Oreos.
Hey, man. I got them all. We're going to do it all, baby.
Wow, 3 lines. All 3 lines.
Hey, man.
Well,
What?
you're in luck, Ivan. Scott
What?
didn't take your job.
Oh, I'm glad. I mean, he's a good man, but I like being here. So,
Yeah, we don't have to give you the Vince McMahon. You're fired.
I'm stone!
Yeah, not that here.
Actually, well, John Stevenson's Mr. Slate was not as intimidating as Mel Blanc's Mr. Spacely.
okay, now, Mr. Spacely, that is a distinctive thing, But yeah, I think I'd be more scared of Mr. Spacely than, the other cat,
Because when he'd wobble his... You're fired!
Yes, I mean, that just drove the point home. It's like, I'm so flabbergasted, it's even coming through the words, So, yeah, I'd definitely be a little more freaked out about Spacely.
Every other episode of the Jetsons, I think, George got fired and then rehired same episode.
I think that happens.
Very little
to
job
a
security.
lot of
That poor guy.
Yeah. I'm a fuck up, but he'll still take me back. It always boggles my mind. Well, what boggles my mind more though about that whole series? I mean, being in 1962 and how much of that stuff came to be now. The only thing we're left is hover cars, man. Think about
With the bubble domes.
well, I don't know about bubble domes.
Where's my flying car with the bubble dome?
You know what? Based
What?
on what I see in today's society, I don't know that I want flying cars.
No, we as humans can't handle 2 dimensions, let alone 3.
Forget that. I want everybody driving around with something with a nuclear reactor.
You know what? That is a thought. You're right. And
No.
Yeah. No,
it's not like Back to the
because
Future with the Mr. Fusion on the back.
Yeah, seriously.
That runs on banana peels.
the flux capacitor, yeah. Sure, I want to be an easy target.
Forget that. I mean, you see how people are with cars. How people are with cars. Imagine if they could fly and there's really no lanes.
No, and there's no way to designate lanes in the sky either.
Well, in Back to the Future, they had like little floating little lights where you had to follow those little floating lights that would imitate like lanes.
Yeah, but then that only happens when you go up upon it. But then once you've left the light there, I mean, where do you go? I mean, there's just it's all wide open.
Sky's the limit, literally.
Pretty much. Pretty much.
You know what? If we're going to do food, I come to a conclusion. If we're going to do food, we need to take a road trip, and we have to actually do have to do the episode from that place in Madison that we found last week, Mike.
Yes, we need to
Newton
go to.
Square.
Well, it's not open yet. It's
not open yet.
No.
Although I don't really like Korean food, but I'm willing to give it a shot.
Well, let's get.
I had one of my sales reps at the store. He has 2 adopted children from South Korea, and he hates Korean food.
That's odd.
Yeah,
I mean, I like noodles. So we should probably let Ivan in on this because he probably didn't listen.
You probably didn't listen last week, did you? You didn't do your homework, did you, Ivan?
No, I didn't. I'm bad.
He didn't listen to He didn't hear about the Korean noodle shop in in Madison, Wisconsin, that is spelled PHOKING good.
Oh, fucking good.
Yeah, it's the fucking good noodle shop.
Wait, it gets better.
Hey, we gotta laugh.
It's on Willie Street.
Oh, man, I love it.
Go to Willie Street. It's fucking good.
Yeah, it's fucking good.
On Willie Street. So, all right. I guess we can start. I guess we started already.
I thought we kind of already did.
I thought we were running the tape already.
Welcome, everyone. It's the show. You know what you're listening to. Hey, Ivan's back. Hooray, Ivan's back. Get a shout out, Ivan. Put your hands together. He's not dead yet.
Table podcast. Okay, just in case nobody knows.
In
case you hit the button and you don't know what you're doing.
You're like, oh fuck, what is
we
this?
got butt dial the podcast.
Yeah.
We got all kinds of goodies in the beginning that we would have, I don't know, might have happened, but it's here and now you get to enjoy it too. Hey everybody, how y'all doing? I'm Rivera, coming on the back of a 2-day rant with Electric Jungle, but I'm going to let my cohorts do their groovy thing first. Hey Mike, hey Jeff, how you all doing?
Fine.
I'm good, I guess.
That was our question for you, my friend. You've been out of commission.
Yeah, you put up this thing with your hat and everything about Safe Labor Day, and the next thing I know, it's like
years in the
hospital. Dun, dun, dun.
Oh yeah, that would scare some people. Sorry about that, folks. I mean that wasn't the intent. I just got a stomach bug and just had to get some medicine for it and got taken care of. And after that, just started making the rounds again and ended up at the Electric Jungle on Saturday and Sunday for the grand opening / anniversary celebration we had, including...
Wait, stop.
Wait a minute. You can't... Wait a minute, Ivan. That doesn't make sense.
No, it doesn't.
It doesn't make sense?
It doesn't make any sense.
What doesn't make sense?
It's been open for a year. It's been open for a year.
No, it's been open for years, so it's a year anniversary.
But then it's not a grand opening.
No, that's what they put on the poster. I'm just read what was on the poster, okay?
Well,
come on.
That's just fucking dumb.
No. Anyway.
No, but...
It's the 1-year anniversary of the grand opening.
Right.
That makes
sense. I got it.
That's not what you said.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I meant, okay? Sometimes Mike saves me with that. Thank you, sir. Anyway, so
how was the opening, the anniversary of the opening?
Yeah, the anniversary of the opening was wonderful. We had Ralph Soul Jackson, the Alabama Love Man. That's right. We had real soulful, Southern soulful by the Bowlful. Saturday when he came and he performed with a band that was put together by King Anthony, Brian Jason, and of course Artie Simon playing keyboards. And it turned out to be a spectacular event and well attended, and was wonderful to be with all of the like to call the Party Line Collective, with a whole bunch of the guys who go out and who shop the store, who go out and who spin records and everything. It was nice being amongst all the DJ buddies, friends, and pals, on Saturday. And yeah, it was just a wonderful thing. Everybody got to spin. We got to hear some live soul music. We had all manner of beverages available. It was just a beautiful event. Followed by the following day, which we did the soul cookout. So meet her siree down to the Stone Soul Cookout. That's exactly what it was too, because we had speakers, pointed out of the door in the back area of our shop, and DJ Brian Trent, he was making ribs, burgers, dogs, sausages. Gentleman named Oscar brought in pizza. Let me see. Allison made vegetables and corn and stuff. Julie and I, we had a lovely time together with everybody. More people from the collective coming around, spinning more tunes. DJ 78 came by, and Brian Trent did some spinning. Art Scarlin of the Windy City Soul Club, which, by the way, Windy City Soul Club should be having their home available by next month. So the legend continues.
They're homeless?
You know. And, pardon?
God.
They're homeless?
Well, they're homeless right now because they stopped a 10-year Tennessee, listen to me.
They were in Tennessee?
No, not on Tennessee. They were there for 10 years and over at the hideout. So now they're going to a whole nother place. They haven't found it yet, but it's going to be coming soon. I wish Art and best of luck to all those cats who are going to get the new home for the Windy City Soul Club. I'm excited. And more wonderful happenings that included, friends, family, and music. So yeah, the whole weekend was filled with all of that. It was a good time. And today, I just stayed home and just slept it off because it was really a lot of work to get it together. But I don't mind work. Nobody.
Wait, did he just say he sucked it off?
Slept it off.
Oh.
Where's your
Clean
mind?
your earbuds, Jeff.
That's not an earbud thing. Pronunciation is a problem.
Where is your mind at? Okay, so come on now. Anyway, so
we're glad you're back, Ivan.
Yeah.
Listen to this, man. I'm glad to be back. So yeah, that was happening the last 2 days. Saw Good Boy. That's probably old news by now. Saw that movie.
Oh yeah.
Oh, the Good Boys. Yeah, how was that?
It's funny. It was really funny. I mean, well, it gives the producers and everybody who made this movie an excuse to have kids getting into trouble and swearing themselves silly. It's kind of like the Little Rascals, but a little bit more perverted. But not perverted in a bad way, just very strange. But it's funny stuff. So yeah, Good Boys was just that very funny kid movie.
Okay. But it's still rated R though.
Well, yeah, because they swore a lot, and there was a lot of sexual innuendos and in jokes and all kinds of shit like that. So yeah, it was very, very racy.
What would you give it? How many yeah-mans?
Well, I would probably give the kids swore a little bit too much for my liking, but the gags were funny. The storyline, moved right along. It was very fast paced. I would say about 3.5.
Okay. Then it's a rental.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a rental. So, so you see that, get a chance to see it, and, might give you a few belly giggles and, some moments where you're saying, oh my God, they did. They went there, huh?
Okay.
Yeah, and, the record collection gets bigger, and, the more exciting things are starting to happen now that things are going to wind down a little bit because now the fall is just around the corner.
Actually, it's 3 doors down on your right.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's getting there.
It's getting there. And Mathers, where I do my residency, that's the word I was looking for earlier. My residency over at Mathers is going to be shut down between the last week of September and the 1st of October because they're renovating the Mathers where I perform at. So it's going to be exciting to see what they do with the place. So, and so it gives me a couple of weeks to kind of, recoup and regroup to see what else happens over the fall. And have you seen your fair share of Halloween decorations being put up in your stores yet?
Oh, Jesus.
I saw some fall decorations around. That's coming now. It's back to the schools. It's like clockwork. By mid-October, we'll be seeing the other holiday stuff.
Yeah.
The red and green shit.
Yep. Miles and miles of red and green shit.
It's coming.
Wow.
But, like a lot of my Facebook friends, like they're big Halloween people, so before Labor Day, they're all like, "Oh, Halloween, Halloween!" You got, like Jack Skellington and witches and pumpkins and all that.
Yeah, I'm going to I might be going to a wedding, and they're calling it the Unholy Union.
Holy shit!
I'm like, yeah, that's that's what I said too.
So it's like a Halloween themed wedding?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
I don't know about that.
No. I've seen all kinds of themes.
Yeah. I mean,
in the whole wedding realm, it's no longer about being all white and churchy and all that. A lot of people are getting married now in so many different distinctive type of ways. I mean, some are going back to the turn of the century, some are going punky, some are, and then of course, like in this case, the Unholy Union. I mean, kind of do a Halloween style type of a situation. That's that's got me with my eyebrows light up in the air. Like, yeah, it's pretty out. That's pretty out there, but I'm just curious to see what transpires. Yeah.
All right, let's keep us up to date on that.
Mm-hmm.
So, Jeff, how was your week?
Well, I'm staring at a new laptop.
Yay! I mean, money.
Yeah, money. That was money I didn't have, but it's a nice piece, and I thank all the people who gave suggestions on where to go and who to go talk to, and I think I found a piece that's pretty cool. So I'm good there. And then trying to think, I didn't have much that I did in terms of this past week, other than watching that abysmal game on Thursday night. But,
yeah,
I know. I'm like, oh God, really?
Yep. It was bad. Apparently, with a lot of bad games this weekend, last weekend. So,
yeah. Well, I don't know. It's funny as we record this. I think there's still a game. There's still a couple of games going right now. So we'll see. But
yeah. So as week one draws to a close, we're all like, wait a minute.
Doesn't sound like a lot of enthusiasm happening there.
Well, no. I mean, it's.
A lot of these teams are still playing like it's the first week, so they're still getting the swing of things.
Yeah, it's the part where, how do I put this? So far, I am doing the golden sombrero trifecta of between my teams and my fantasy football team. That nobody seems to want to win this week. So yeah. Well, whatever. This is the reason I stopped playing pay fantasy football too, is because it's like I don't want to pay this much attention, but at the same time, it's like, damn it!
Yeah, it's nice to win money, but then the pressure's on, and you're not enjoying the game.
Yeah, exactly. When it starts to become work, forget about it.
Well, it's just when money's involved.
Well, yeah, but
I did see the band's visit down at a Cadillac Palace, and all I can tell you is that the band doesn't need to visit ever again.
The band?
It's called the band's visit. It's a. I guess supposedly it's an not Emmy. What's the damn thing?
Grammy.
Tony. That's the one. It's a Tony Award-winning play, but not in my opinion. That thing was horrible. I couldn't wait for that thing to end. I'm convinced that the reason there wasn't an intermission is because if there was one, people would leave.
Mm-hmm. That's sad.
Yeah, it's funny because the papers gave it a good write-up, but I'm just like, no. I was just like literally sitting there like, when is this going to end anytime soon?
Jeffrey has had a very bad day at the theater.
Yeah, well,
he did not like this program, none whatsoever.
Well, it's been a long time coming because the last few have been good.
Mm-hmm.
So at some point the clunker is going to come around. But
Yeah, the
really
going to make an appearance. Yeah.
I'm sorry. And then there's the big news of the weekend. At one point, my mom asked me, "Hey, when are the Patriots playing?" And I said, "This evening." She's like, "Oh, good." I'm like, "What?" She's like, "Oh, I like Tom Brady." I'm like, "Get out of my house."
Man.
Get out of my house. Leave now.
I thank my God that I don't have a family member that's a Patriots fan.
Well, you gotta understand too. I'm a Colts fan. If there's anyone we hate, it's the New England Patriots. So it's like, and she clarified a little bit. She's like, "Well, it's the Bears and Colts first, and then it's the Patriots because I like Tom Brady. He's cute." Oh God.
Why you?
Betrayed.
Yeah,
No,
seriously.
no.
Et tu, Brute? Seriously. Yeah, I just was like...
It's brutal. It's brutal.
Well, what?
How about you, Mike?
Ivan, what are you talking about?
What's going on with you?
I said, it's brutal. I said, it's brutal. It's brutal. All right, never mind.
It's the line from Shakespeare, Ivan. That's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Et tu, Brute. That's what Caesar said before he died, because Brute, and he was, yes.
And not the salad, Ivan.
And not the pizza either.
Okay, well, thank you. Thank you for elucidating me. Thank you.
Wait.
No, that's good, though. I mean,
wait.
I mean, you're my friends. I know you won't never let me go around being ignorant. I get it.
Stop. Did you say thank you for elucidating me?
For elucidating me. Elucidate, to light, to put the light, on it.
You mean illuminate?
No, elucidate. There is such a word. Go ahead, look it up.
I'm not looking this up now.
No,
I don't have
look
time
it
for
up.
this crap.
It's not a show unless Jeff has to look something up.
I am
Exactly.
not looking shit up.
Come on, it's elucidate, man. I know you can illuminate something, that's to light it up, but when you elucidate somebody, it's to lighten them up to something. Oh my God, that came out of Ivan's mouth? Yeah, check it out.
No, lots of things come out of Ivan's mouth.
Yeah, most of them are bad, but this case, this might be a good one.
It's like that time when Howard. It's like that time with Howard Stern, where it's like, "Did you just say big cock coming out of your mouth?" Yes, I did. You can't say that.
But that's a whole other world over there. Those guys are cool.
Well, so are we. Okay, Mike. So what you got?
See, he's getting away from me, Mike. He won't look up the word.
Moving right along. I looked it up already. It means to explain.
Oh,
there you go. See, I did it right for once.
Well, this last weekend I went to a friend's house and we watched the DS9 documentary, What We Leave Behind. This year being the 20th anniversary of the last episode of Star Trek Deep Space Nine. And the producer, Ira Steven Behr, made this documentary. It was crowdfunded like early 2018, and it was delayed because they kept, they kept hitting the stretch goals. So they wanted to upscale the original footage to match the rest of the doc. So all the footage they used from Deep Space Nine in the documentary was upscaled to high definition. And that took a lot of extra time. And man, I could have watched it. It was just under 2 hours. And I could have watched it another hour. It should have been 3 hours long. But they couldn't do that because it was just... Anyway, yeah, it was great. It was amazing. It was cool to see a lot of the actors. Some of the actors weren't there for the doc to have actual interviews. They used like past interviews like Avery Brooks. And a couple others. I think the one...
Well, what's he doing that's so important?
Guess he wasn't interested in it anymore.
Oh, I guess.
And there were a couple episodes he directed, including the Far Beyond the Stars, which is the one where he plays Benny, the sci-fi writer in the 50s, which is one of the greatest episodes, I think, in science fiction. Anyway. But it's great. Andrew Robinson was Garrick. He pretty much is Garrick. I mean, I didn't know that Andrew Robinson wrote his own story about Garrick's history, his backstory. I didn't know this. But there are these great characters, and Nana Visitor is still hot. So, yeah, it was great. I loved it. Glad I finally got to see it. I mean, I didn't get the DVD. I have the streaming option, but the streaming service isn't available at any time yet. It was available for a short stint over the same weekend that was Avengers Endgame. And I was like, no, I'm too busy with Endgame. I don't have time to watch it. So that was kind of a bummer, but I will watch I watched the doc, and it was great. Loved it. And also, spreading the gospel to my coworkers about Cobra Kai. And because it's free, season 1's free. And I also had a nice visit Saturday with a friend of ours, and we planned another day we're going to go shooting. And that's fun. That's tonight. So I had a good shooting guns, just paper targets.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shooting pew pew plink plink.
Right.
Pew pew plink plink. Got
that's
it.
Right. Yeah, I had a great weekend, though. I had to work Sunday, and I don't know about the Sunday crowd. Because the thing is that the Bears game was Thursday night, and I work Thursday nights, and when that game started, the store died.
Right.
So, and then Sunday, the Bears and the Packers, neither team was playing, so everyone's out on Sunday.
Yep.
Including the people who should be shopping at Walmart. Anyway.
Well, what makes you say that?
I think you can fill in the blanks in that regard.
Oh no! This is good. This is the good stuff. Let's go.
I'm talking camouflage sweatpants with a T-shirt displaying prominently your favorite beer, and
okay.
Yeah.
I just need some washers and nuts.
Yeah, I had one guy who's like wanted to use the cheapest nuts and bolts possible to bolt the seat to his car back on. Like, okay.
I don't even need bolts.
I was like, then he realized I got a full set of nuts and bolts for him. Like, oh yeah, I got 2. I need a second set. Like, True story. A grown-ass man older than me was asking questions about hammers. Like, dude, it's a fucking hammer.
Wow.
I didn't say that. But
no,
dude,
but you'd like to, though.
Damn,
dude. These people roamed the earth. They found their way to the store. And they're asking me questions about how to hit metal thing with hammer. It boggles the imagination.
You shouldn't have one, dude.
I weep for the future of the human race sometimes because I work in retail. The slow, soul-crushing retail. Other than that, my weekend was great. I had a good time.
That is kind of a... Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Who are the people who actually buy food at the Ace Hardware?
Because we have food. We have like $1.
Why?
Because we have it, and it's good. Some of it.
Well, it's just like you go to the gas station. Do you go to the gas station to get food? Well, but they got food.
Well, out of convenience, you don't want to have to go to Jewel, and it's right there. It's an impulse.
Right. Well, yeah, that's different though.
Right, and then that's what they sock it to you with the ring up of the price as well. You know, sure, I can go ahead and pay $5 for a gallon of milk when it's just because it's right here.
Excuse yourself.
Excuse me.
Hey, we're professionals here.
Yeah.
Don't be an asshole and belch during the show.
Don't be an asshole. Fine. Sheesh.
So, well, the thing is that with gas stations, that the profit margins are so slim on gasoline. That's why, like, a loaf of bread is $8 at the gas station.
and it's good for one day.
And that one day was 2 months ago.
It is always funny. It is always funny when you're dealing with the people who want to bring up Walmart, though. Like you know, like at one point I was selling custom flash drives. We're talking about your personal imprint. We build, you know, we kind of build them to spec. And I got some guy who he asked me for the price of of how many. And I'm like sitting there and I'm like, here's my price. He goes, I can go to Walmart and get them cheaper. Like, okay.
Go.
No, really, I can get them at Walmart. Okay.
Yeah,
You
go.
don't seem to understand. No, I understand just fine. I know what I'm selling. You say the thing that you could go buy it at Walmart for cheaper. Great.
Yeah,
go right ahead.
Go get it.
Yeah. But you seem to not want to sell me something. No, you seem to want to buy something that I'm not interested in selling you. So goodbye. I sell custom imprinted flash drives. You just want to go get cheap flash drives from the store. Because you're too lazy to go to the store and spend gasoline.
Well, they're custom imprinted.
Right. But they see sometimes when we did like the Google words, they'll come up as cheap flash drives or stuff like that. So like they'll look for stuff like that, and people look for things like that because, you know, God forbid we should have to get in a car. But yeah, I was always kind of amused when people would call up. Or like the people who would like to tell you get this too, Mike, the people who are like, I can buy this for they tell you a price and you're like, there's no way in hell you could buy it for that price.
It happens at the record store too. Same thing.
Oh yeah.
You know? And the big one is they'll go to the dollar records and everything. They'll buy like maybe $20 worth of dollar records. So that's $20, right? Very simple mathematic. Excuse me, can I get a discount because I bought 20 records?
You just did. It's $1 a piece.
And that's what I tell them. And they look at me like I got two heads. I'm like, you're $1 a piece, man. I mean, how much more discount do you want? Well, I bought 20 of them.
Yeah, so $20.
$20.
Well, do you think you could take 10 and like you're asking me for half off 20 records here, half off? Just like that, just because they're dollar records. Now you want
in fairness, I will say this: you can't fault the person for asking. It's the part when you say no.
Yes, and then
you can ask you can ask whatever price you want. I'll just say no.
Yeah. Exactly, and that's just the point. But these people, they're just like insistent. Oh, and the other side of the coin is, wow, these are unlike any other collection you're ever gonna see. And it's like, excuse me, all the records you got there have been made in the billions. Come up with a short-run gold vinyl copy of the radio promo that came out in 1956, then we'll talk.
Yeah. Well, it's just, customer relations and all that. It's like, just today, I had a phone call.
It's an oddity.
And the customer introduce themselves. Hi, my name is so-and-so, and I'm a regular customer. And when their official subtitle is regular customer, you know you're in for it.
Yeah, that's here it comes.
They prefer every customer's special, and everyone should be treated so warmly and so amazingly, and I should have it all for free and give it to me now. No,
yes, and I'm entitled. Get the fuck out of here.
That's right.
Get the fuck out of here.
So this is our Squares Roundtable podcast about customer relations. We appreciate you listening.
Yeah. It just goes to show that
you guys work in industries where it's brick and mortar, so it's not like there's much room to barter. Whereas I work in an industry where it's more phone calls and internet, so people do that stuff all the time, and you're just like, it's like my favorite is when you've given them the best possible price, you've given them this phenomenal price, and they're like, is that the best you can do?
Exactly.
Really? Really? I mean, seriously?
We need to keep the lights on, folks. We need to keep the phones on, folks. We need to keep the electric bill paid, folks.
No, I don't give a shit about that. They really don't.
No, but the thing about it is, a lot of people, they don't think about when you're busy bartering and bargaining and everything like that.
They don't care about that.
Exactly my point I'm trying to raise. They don't care about that shit. They just want the stuff for whatever it is they want to get it for, but they don't take into account that it's that price because we're trying to keep the thing going.
It's like the people who sit there and say to me, don't you have free shipping? And I'm like, no. Amazon has free shipping. Go to Amazon.
Go to Amazon.
Seriously, go to Amazon.
Yeah.
But Amazon doesn't put your logo on it, do they? Yeah.
Okay. Or
Yeah,
you know, yeah, and then of course, you know, you get the people that come in and they're just like, "Oh yeah, you got this album. It's an original and everything. I can get it on eBay." Okay, go ahead. You can go ahead and pay 2 times more money. Then you got to pay shipping and handling. Then of course that
Ivan, you're going in and out sound wise.
you get your $12 record for $40. Go right ahead. Be my guest.
You know, it's funny. I did when my mom moved out of the house. We did an estate sale, and they tell you you're not supposed to be there that day, but we were. And now I understand why they tell you not to be there that day. Okay.
Yeah, because people are like asking for pennies on the dollar.
Yeah, and I swear, what I really wanted to do.
Vultures.
What I really wanted to do, after I realized it, what I really wanted to do was I wanted to have like a signal blocker so that you couldn't get any signal in the entire house.
Right.
So that no one
looking it up on eBay.
Right, because everybody's looking up the pricing on everywhere on eBay, and I'm like just sitting there, and I'm like, what I really need is a signal blocker. That would so that no one can look up their shit in the house while they're walking around the house.
Wi-Fi scrambler.
Yeah. Purposely like knocking out like even like the 4G networks and all that stuff like that, where it's like, nope, nothing. Totally like a dead zone.
Yeah, no bars. I have no bars.
Yeah, I have nothing. No service at all. See, now that would be the trick. Now the real trick would be at that point is, okay, you do that and someone's like, I can't get any service in here. Yeah, I know. I purposely blocked it all. What? Yeah, I did. Do you want service? Yeah. $5.
Yeah, now you got 20 people sitting out in front of the house. They got service there.
Oh, no. Make sure the signal extends all the way out to the damn, all the way down the driveway. No way.
Now you're playing.
No way. You want to figure this out? You have to leave and come back.
So let's see. We got any news topics to discuss here today?
We can go a lot of directions. I just don't know where you want to.
Well, we did briefly cover the pathetic Week 1 of the NFL season. So,
well, it's ironic. My other team played the only real nail biter game was the Colts game, where they came back and they went into overtime, and I think they were the only overtime game that week. So.
Stepping out for some.
Ivan's stepping out for a moment.
Oh.
Brief intermission. Yeah, it's like from the Blues Brothers.
What's that? Yeah. Yeah, that's... Do we want to wait for him, or we can keep going?
We can keep going.
Yeah, what do you got? I was looking just to see what the heck is going on. It's like it's been like a really long week. It's like sometimes you have to look up stuff, and you're like, "What?"
Well, it's Labor Day week, so it was a short week, but it was not really news-wise, not much in the way of.
Well, there's a bunch of stuff like here in the last little bit of it. Here, this was interesting. I guess the other thing is apparently I didn't realize there was such a thing as a hard seltzer, which apparently is an alcoholic type drink with seltzer water. Apparently, it's kind of like like those bottles that bottled stuff that they do is something called White Claw, and apparently they're running out of it in America. It's a hard seltzer. I don't know much about this.
Yeah, I heard about this news about this White Claw shit.
Yeah, it's like, so like you talk about rare. It's like, okay, like sit around and have like a Popeyes chicken sandwich in this, and you're like a god. or something like that. But
yeah, I drove through the Popeyes, the closest to me, and of course they were out of chicken sandwiches. So
yeah. Well, apparently you didn't have your AK-47 to use on them. Apparently people going that nuts.
Well, yeah, I mean, the whole melee that has become the chicken sandwich, I mean, I must have been asked maybe 15 or more times if I ever tried the chicken sandwich, the plant-based chicken sandwich.
What a plant-based chicken sandwich?
What?
This isn't plant-based. The Popeyes one isn't plant-based.
No, it's pure chicken-based chicken.
It's regular chicken-based chicken.
Yeah. No, it's the new Popeyes chicken sandwich. It's all the rage, apparently, with the kids.
Yeah.
All these teenagers and their rock and roll music.
You know about the kids, Ivan. How about this White Claw hard cider? I don't know what that is.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, the company
seltzer.
happened. Well, yeah, they made seltzer palatable, is what they did, and with the formula that they put in it, it's like it's seltzer, but it's not like seltzer, you know.
But it's alcohol, right?
Everybody's been going ape shit about this whole thing. You know, the whole millennia has lost their marbles over these chicken sandwiches and the White Claw brand. The White Claw brand, they can't keep it on the shelves. They can't make it fast enough. Microbreweries went through the roof.
What is it? It's an alcoholic drink? Is that what it is?
Yes.
It's a lightly alcoholic drink, and it's got a very bubbly, very floaty.
Is it like Zima?
No.
Harder.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, Zima's harder, and it don't taste like Zima. No.
Okay.
No. But obviously, you know, it's become the big rage. I would like to exactly go out to both those places and actually try a chicken sandwich and come up with my own critique.
Well, if you can find one, good luck.
Well, I got a Popeyes right down the street. So yeah.
I don't think they have them, Ivan. You find one, you can sell it on eBay for like a boatload of money.
No, you gotta turn it around quick. You gotta go back to like the one guy in Tennessee who went to Craigslist.
Okay. Well, so yeah, so what? So they okay. I heard it was a plant-based chicken. You say no. Then what is it?
It's a chicken sandwich. I don't get it either. Apparently. The long and the short of it is that Popeyes, I guess, has never had a chicken sandwich before, and so demand was incredibly high.
And they're trying to rival Chick-fil-A.
Right, and so Chick-fil-A gave them crap about not having enough product, and the next thing you know, this is like...
Popeyes all like, at least we're open on Sunday.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah. But yeah, I think that's it. I know what you're talking about, which is I saw something about KFC's going to do a plant-based KFC, which I'm like a green sandwich,
like an Impossible sandwich, just like
no, that's the burger.
That's the Impossible Whopper.
I know Burger King has the Impossible Burger, but I guess they're coming out with their own Impossible chicken thing too.
Right, but I don't think it's actually a sandwich. I think it's just.
I think
it's actual chicken, like Impossible Chicken or whatever the hell.
Right, Impossible Chicken. That's exactly what I'm talking about.
I'd prefer Possible Chicken. That's just
I like Possible Chicken. I don't know. I've grown up on Possible Chicken. Yeah, it's possible that it's going to make relevance to my body because it's real chicken.
It's like the McDonald's McNuggets are probable chicken.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
that's yeah.
Work at McDonald's, I did.
I never worked at McDonald's, but I knew people who did. So.
Yeah, I have.
I've heard stories.
I worked a few weeks at a Long John Silver's back in the 80s.
Yes, I says, there's stories behind McDonald's food, man, that will remain nameless, because it's yikes.
I saw a picture on Facebook. Someone deep fried a baseball cap and put it between two pieces of bread and called it the Popeyes chicken.
Nice. Nice. There
People
we go.
Deep fry anything.
Anything, really, seriously, and they will.
Oh yeah.
When I was in Carolina, I was at the state fair, and this was the only thing that possibly tempted me, was they had deep-fried KoolAid. How do you deep-fry KoolAid?
I don't know. I couldn't tell you.
And why? Why would you deep-fry KoolAid?
No, it's just like, okay, well, that's just kind of up there with fried ice cream.
Yeah, it's probably what it was.
That's good, though. No, that's
probably
good,
fried, like a fried ice cream thing. Has to be.
Where it's a classic combination. It's the salty with the sweet.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's just, because you can't fry water, you turn it to steam.
I don't know.
That's just weird. I think it might be just what I said, that whole fried ice cream thing.
We need to get Neil deGrasse Tyson here and explain to us deep-fried KoolAid.
Yes.
Okay, well, yeah. Inquiring minds want to know, what is deep?
Hold on.
Here's
the irony. I'm not willing to look up your word. I am willing to look up deep-fried KoolAid.
Yeah, see how you are? You know I love you, man.
Wow, it actually comes up. Deep-fried KoolAid. What the... How to make deep-fried KoolAid. They even have like a YouTube video.
Let's know about this. I'm intrigued.
There's a YouTube video about how to do and make everything.
Yeah, well, that should be... Oh, it's a KoolAid ball. Wait, is it a KoolAid ball? Why would you want a KoolAid ball? I don't think that. No, never mind. Forget this.
Is it kind of like is it like a Jell-O type thing? And they fry it?
I don't know. I think it's supposedly more like a donut type thing. Well, I don't know if it's a donut or it's a gelatin. I don't know.
It has to be gelatin if it's deep fried KoolAid. I mean, I would think it'd be okay.
But yeah, so apparently the meal of gods these days is a Popeyes chicken sandwich and hard White Claw seltzer. I don't know.
So if you can find yourself a Popeyes chicken sandwich and have some White Claw with it, apparently you're like in the 1%.
Yes. Yes,
you're like the people like Matt Damon was fighting to get to Elysium, the space station, where they have a cure for cancer and they have White Claw and Popeyes chicken sandwiches.
Yeah, seriously.
Yep, of all things.
Damon.
What else? Actually, what did I see that was amusing that I thought I wanted to bring up to Ivan? Oh, they so I guess Eazy-E would have been 55.
Right.
And they replaced his headstone with a full color, like with pictures and everything, like a headstone. It looks like an album cover.
What?
Yeah.
Okay.
And Ivan's all like, album cover headstones count me in, yeah, man.
Yeah.
No, wait a minute here. No, hold on a second. Okay, come on now. I mean, even I know when something just is a little more than needs be. Okay, I mean, I understand, you got monumental stones that, they include all these engraved photos and things like that. Do you think
isn't engraved?
Monumental stones? I think that's this week's episode title.
It's almost more like
just album covers, all just kind of.
Well, no, it's like pictures and it's laminated. It's like it looks like you made a poster and you laminated it on something, and I don't know.
And then they just laid it on top of the
couple layers of shellac, and you're good.
Well, I've seen crazier things. I don't know if you've ever saw the meme where it's a casket, but it's got a record player and speakers all built into it, and it says, "This is how I'm going to be laid to rest."
I'm trying to find this thing now. I don't know where I saw it. I had it on my feed.
Oh, that's so frustrating when you see something on the Facebook feed and then you'll never see it again.
Yeah,
let's try it.
It becomes in and out now with them. With the whole algorithm thing, where you only get to see like.
Well, no, I'm on my feed because I was looking for it, but
You allegedly have.
Hold on, I gotta look and see if I can find this thing.
But
yeah, sorry. Seriously? And then I tried to do the damn thing to make it worth make it look like to make it like where I could like look on my own stuff, and it's like, nope, that won't work either. I don't know. Like I said, I thought it was interesting. I don't know if we want to. There's something that I pulled up. I pulled something up that I thought was funny. I don't know if we want to save it for. You know what? We have a lot of stories for News is Squared. So I'm going to bring this up here because I think Ivan will get a kick out of this.
Okay, what do we got?
I gotta find it. Give me a second. Okay. But but yeah. I'm trying to think. Oh, here it is. So apparently, Taylor Swift is about to launch a new album, or has launched a new album.
Okay.
And apparently, it has been. I don't know if it. Hold on a second. I'm trying to pull this up. Apparently. I always love when when this stuff happens. So apparently her fans are freaking out because she was dethroned by the new
Tool album.
The new Tool album.
Have you heard the new Tool album?
And wait, you're missing the point. First of all, none of them know who the fuck Tool is.
Okay.
Matter of fact, the exact headline is, "Who the fuck is Tool? Fans freak out over unknown band who dethrones Taylor Swift."
Okay, I mean the Tool album. Okay, Taylor Swift, Tool. Yeah, I'd rather put my money on Tool.
Well, I understand, but I just think it's you gotta hear some of this. Wait, because they haven't released anything in 13 years.
So her favorite are first.
Ivan, do you have headphones on? Ivan, do you have headphones on?
Okay. So apparently, yeah, they're going a little bit nuts over the fact that this band
Tool just kind of went over their heads. And okay, yeah, I mean Taylor Swift, all right, yeah, she's got some good things. I'll be being dethroned by the Tool album. I mean,
here's one quote: "Keep streaming, guys. This band Tool is dropping a new album after 13 years. LMAO 13 in parentheses is okay, but we still have a chance," one wrote, urging others to continue to streaming Lover. That's one of the comments. Guys, we stream Lover. We are 40K away from being number one for second week in a row. So they're trying to beat Tool. Taylor win, no Tool. There's other things. Let's see. Where was this one? Who the fuck is Tool? Can they move their fat ass? Like, genuinely no idea who that is. Am I the only one? One questioned.
Well, it's been 13 years, since Tool was in prominence. So, so Tool is to come through the way they did in the middle of millennia. I mean, that's no small feat.
See, Ivan wants to talk about the music side of it, so I'm laughing because what I find most hysterical about this, and this is where I get a kick out of it, is the part where it's like the comments from the Taylor Swift people who have no idea what Tool is.
Who Tool is. I know. I get that.
They need to be educated.
Right. Where it's
exactly. I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was just saying, one of them was like, apparently they were really big in the 90s. The best is, one of them posts something on Twitter. "Oh my God, the length of each song made me shook."
Shook?
Yeah, apparently they are looking at the length of some of these Tool songs. And like a Taylor Swift song is like maybe like what, 3-4 minutes tops?
3 minutes, that's late. Yeah. That's the span of attention they got now.
Right. Well, and I'm looking like some of the things that are on here like that. I'm listening. Like, there's one that's 2 minutes and 14 seconds. But like of the first 5 songs I've seen listed, like most of them are like 10 minutes or more.
Yeah. Well, that's because that's Tool. I mean, Tool like Nine Inch Nails and Pretty Hate Machine and all of these type of guys who were into that music. Yeah, they're lengthy pieces. Everybody's been cookie cuttered into these little small bites, and Taylor Swift and Lord and, the rest of them,
Yeah, I guess. Like I said, I thought you'd find it funny, though, because it's like, you got
No,
all
it
these
is funny.
little teeny bopper.
It is funny to me. I mean, because, everybody's like, who in the hell is Tool? It's like, yeah, you've been following Taylor Swift, man. It's just like, to you, that's it, Taylor Swift.
I guess. Oh, so Mike, I don't know if you saw this. Apparently, they're doing a Snake Eyes movie.
Okay, sure. They need to do something to resurrect the G.I. Joe brand.
Yeah, but he doesn't talk.
Well, maybe before he didn't. Before his horrifying accident.
So now he talks now after his horrifying accident.
I guess. So, yeah, I don't know who this is. Aikio Uwaz. I'm going to pronounce this poorly. Oh, it's the guy from the Crazy Rich Asians. He's the guy, I guess, they're bringing in to play Snake Eyes or be in it.
Okay, sure.
So I'm all for any Paramount.
I'm all for any G.I. Joe content that's good. We haven't had any in a very long time, but...
Well, yeah, I mean, the G.I. Joe content, we haven't had anything in well over, animation-wise, at least not to me, in the last, decade?
I think the Hub had a G.I. Joe Retaliation was delayed, and then there was G.I. Joe Renegades, I think, where the Joes were on the run from a Cobra-run government. And it was just... It's a product of its time, and G.I. Joe doesn't age well in this post-Cold War era.
Right.
And it's like either that or you turn G.I. Joe, because, well, the word terrorism, I mean, has a whole new meaning now, obviously, in this day and age.
Well,
you can't fight Cobra. I'm all for any new G.I. Joe stuff, but hopefully it'll be good. I think it'll be a good way to try and reassemble it, is kind of do it like this, build G.I. Joe off of the individual character stories. That might be the key to get G.I. Joe back.
I think in that case in point, more of what happened in their personal lives might have to be the ramp up to what happens in their past life, whatever that they're doing as far as their careers are concerned. I mean, it's going to be a total redemption.
Their careers before they had G.I. Joe. Yes. Okay. G.I. Joe career building. That's good.
Uh-huh.
No. I'm not making slight of it. I'm just hoping that it's good.
Oh, I found the thing on the Eazy-E thing now, finally, ironically.
Eazy-E's headstone?
Yeah, the headstone thing. Yeah, this thing is, I was trying to look at this thing. It's like they took a whole bunch of pictures and they made it into a headstone or something.
Some's kids third grade collage or something like that?
Yeah, well, not so much that. I mean, I'm trying to make it bigger. It won't get bigger.
Or is the head inside the head, like the class photos from the 70s?
It literally looks like they took a...
Like they cut out the pictures of the heads and they're floating heads everywhere?
No, it's not heads. It's like it's like they made a poster board with all the pictures and all that stuff, and they put it on there, and then they laminated it and made it except they put this on a slab.
Like a big
black slab.
Yeah, and just laminate it so it won't get the rain will run right off.
Yeah, something like that. Like I said, I mean, I'm just looking at this thing going, someone's going to steal this thing. Seriously. I mean, I'm looking at this thing, I'm like, someone's going to steal it.
I heard somebody dug up Benny Hill's grave.
What?
This was shortly after he died. I watched a video about the story of Benny Hill, about how he's deathly afraid of spending money. He was scared to death of spending his own money.
Right.
But because he rode the bus a lot of times.
Ah.
He grew up and Jack Benny, who was named after Jack Benny, his stage name was Benny Hill. He named himself after Jack Benny, one of his idols. And he truly was afraid of spending money. So when he died, grave robbers busted into his casket, hoping to find riches, and they found nothing.
Yep.
So if they find Eazy-E's money, it might be inside that laminated headstone.
If they find Eazy-E's money, there's at least 7 women. There's at least 6 women with 7 different kids that would like it, please.
Yes, I would like to have it. Yeah.
Yeah. That there are a lot of kids in the Eazy-E land. Eazy-E's
family tree just tends to go in one direction.
Well, I just
There's a lot of side branches.
Yeah.
It was like 6 women, 7 kids, or something like that.
Wow.
It's like, so one of them had more than one. Got it.
Man, and I thought,
Any of them old enough to have a record deal yet?
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe who knows? Maybe one or two of them might have some talent.
By now, absolutely. Because we're talking, he died in the 90s.
Right.
I mean, we're talking.
Well, so maybe a couple of them are trying to get into the business.
Maybe.
Or you know what? They're busy living on daddy's.
On daddy's vault.
See, that's the real trick. See now here. This goes back to what we were talking about the other day, Mike. See, this is what we need. Hasbro they want G.I. Joe back. All you gotta do is team up Snake Eyes with Snoop Dogg.
Yeah.
You can do that. I mean,
in that type of situation, it could help it a little. It couldn't hurt it much.
Well, I don't know if you caught this, Ivan, that the company that owns Death Row got bought by Hasbro.
By Hasbro, yeah, I read
because Hasbro wanted to acquire Peppa the Pig.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, God, is that really what it was?
That's why they acquired One Entertainment.
Yeah, they want Peppa the Pig.
And the parent company was Death Row Records. That's how Hasbro now owns it.
I'm still want Tupac Shakur Clue.
Yes. I say
really
put the whole Death Row Records, make it into a Monopoly game.
Yeah, seriously, that's for sure.
Death Row Records Monopoly.
Deathopoly.
Yeah, chance could be interesting. Suge releases the dogs on you. Give them everything in your pockets.
New rap album debuts. Each player pays you $50.
50? No, it gotta be more than that.
There is no such thing as get out of jail free. You're doing your time.
East Coast, West Coast war. Your buildings need to be worked on because they've been all shot up and blown up. What else do we need? What else?
I saw the story about Haley Steinfeld. Could possibly become Kate Bishop in the Hawkeye series.
And I guess they got a head writer now. So
that's interesting. She's a good actress.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, that's what why is it that I watch the horrible Michael Bay films that when they're on the air? The horrible Transformer movies.
It's your fault. Which one was it?
Which one was it? The one with Leonard Nimoy.
Oh, Dark of the Moon. Actually, that's my second favorite of all of them.
The one that has McDreamy acting as a bad guy.
Yeah, I saw a scene in Chicago when they were filming in Chicago. I caught a scene of that when they were when he and Shia LaBeouf were fighting at the end on top of the pile of rubble. I caught some of that. So I'll remember the lights and the wind machine going on. But anyway, yeah, that wasn't Dark of the Moon. There were some good parts of Dark of the Moon. It almost had a cohesive story. It's way more cohesive than the second one.
The first one will always remain my favorite, though.
Yeah, mine too. And it was a great time to be a fan, where it's all been thrust into the forefront of popular culture.
Yeah, that was the other thing we talked about. Is we wanted to have like an Optimus Prime album, like the OG, the original OG,
the OG
Optimus
G1.
Prime. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Optimus Prime, like the Dr. Dre Optimus Prime album or something like that. Yeah.
But other than that, I don't think we got any more Star Wars or Marvel news.
Well, the only thing that's interesting is, I guess, so Jennifer Lopez was out doing press for her new film, that Hustlers, that looks kind of interesting, and she kind of made an interesting statement about that they had a hard time getting it made because it wasn't some sort of comic book adaptation or part of some massive $1 billion franchise. And this goes back to something we've talked about a few times, which is, where are the movies coming from that aren't these big tentpoles? Or where
the Oscar bait should be coming in.
Well, not even just the Oscar bait. I mean, there's movies that would be solid movies that maybe it would make, 30 to 50 million, but honestly, that's not what movie theaters and the big houses are looking for right now. They want stuff that's going to make them, Avengers level, Avengers fight for Fast and Furious, Star Wars level money. That's what they're looking for now. And
that's all the megaplexes, yeah. But then you get these smaller art houses that are showing like the Oscar type films.
Right, but the problem is, the problem is we're losing. There aren't that many of those, and the truth is movies that used to be in regular movie theaters are getting pushed out to those types of theaters, and it's like, I just think it's too bad because it's like, things like Marvel and Star Wars are being blamed, and I don't really blame those people. I don't really blame Marvel and Star Wars for that.
No, I don't think anybody should be to blame for any of that because the idea of spectacle, starts all the way at the beginning of being of major films.
And this fantasy escapism.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So when it comes to that sort of thing, bigger is always better. So you get the theaters that are bigger, who want better, who want certain movies to complement what they want to surround the adventure, the whole thing about it, and so far they've been getting these kind of movies through Marvel and DC and Star Wars and what have you. And it's always gone along. I mean, look what happened with 3D. That became a big phase for a while. Everybody was coming out because it was 3D, and it was Technicolor. Then it was like that whole spectacle. Then
when Technicolor was a spectacle, that's Ivan's.
Yeah,
that's more your time.
Era. When I was a kid, every day
in color. Get out of here with your color.
Color.
Sound no less.
Yeah.
Soundies, they'll never go anywhere.
You kidding? Soundies will always. It's just a phase. It's just a lot of shit.
What'll happen to those screens where they have the letters on them and they tell you what they said?
Yeah. Okay, it's so dating myself.
So it's just this is just the phase we're going through right now. Probably the height of the superhero genre.
But I don't know.
Well, it is the now, and it is what people are looking at, and it is people that are experiencing it, and they're enjoying it. It's like any other spectacle time where it was something that brought people out of the houses into the theaters, be it an art house or be it a regular megaplex. Art houses, though, I do agree with your point, Mike, about the art houses being more towards the independent film companies and kind of like
and the artsy fartsy ones.
The artsy movies, the documentaries, the self-made artists and creative forces that happen now are going to that. I mean, Music Box, that is a great case in point. They've been running a lot of 35 millimeter movies in their theater as of late, and of these different artists and things that they're showing on their screens. Yeah, I think for the small theater survival, I think that's necessary. But yeah, I wouldn't.
I'm sorry, Ivan, we can't hear you.
You're in a tunnel or something.
Are you like under the covers, or you're in bed, or what are you doing?
No, I'm out here at my kitchen table. Here I am.
Okay, because your voice got a little muffled there, so you can just finish.
I'm sorry. Maybe I stepped away from the mic. I'm sorry.
Yeah. That's all right.
Old habit hard. But anyway, so that's what I'm saying. So yeah, I mean, let the viva the groovy like a Hollywood movie, man, because that's and if that's what we're living now, that's a beautiful thing. I mean, it's exciting to go out to a movie and have a movie excite you in that vein, and so there's what's
see. But here's like an example, okay? Apparently, this is out there now. Remember that movie with who was in Face Off? Oh yeah, it was
John Travolta and
Nicolas
Nicolas Cage.
Well, for some strange reason, they feel that needs to be rebooted.
Why?
I don't know.
No,
it wasn't that good to begin with.
It's perfect the way it is. See, this has got me tired. I mean, granted, has Hollywood run out of ideas? We're rebooting everything. We're rebooting Disney. We're rebooting old stories. We're rebooting television shows. Boot, boot, boot. I mean, what's all that, man? Where's all
What's
the
it about?
You know, besides your feet. But other than that, it's
well,
good.
but that goes back to like what we talked about just now, where this Hustlers movie, which is coming out, that apparently has some critical acclaim to it. And I've seen, it's women wearing the way they're making it look with some nice clothing. I'm interested. Possibly. I don't know. I mean, but I've heard good things so far. But a perfect example, why not take more risks with movies like that versus we're going to reboot Face Off. Jeez.
Well,
really?
okay. I'd rather go with what the Hustler's doing than the reboot of Face Off, because Face Off should be left alone. Just like, you have also these things where they have one great movie, let's make a 2 or 3 or 4. Doesn't always work,
Well, but I mean, like, here's the thing: when you have one great movie and you go to try to make 2, 3, or 4, at least it was a great movie. I do not recall Face Off being a great movie.
I don't think I know anyone who does.
Right. Well, that's what I mean. I mean, that's the part where I'm like, why? Why would anyone?
Of all the movies in the world, why Face Off?
Right. And the funny part is, it'll get play and it'll get support, and it's like, why does a movie like that get any support? Unless
unless it's a cash grab.
Even so, who are you cash grabbing with?
That's my point. I mean, that's a long ago thing.
Who's been clamoring for a reboot to this film?
Yeah, seriously. I mean, that's
nobody.
I mean,
it's good the way it is. Just nobody, though.
Right. I mean, let's put this in perspective, okay? A matter of fact, here's a perfect example. The Bad Boys 3 trailer came out while this past week. And there's a part of me where I'm like, did we really need a Bad Boys 3? But I like Will Smith and Martin Lawrence, and that's been a successful franchise. Okay? And it's been a while. Okay, this could be interesting.
Now, something like that, okay, sure. All right. But when you're going to go ahead and just try to basically rewrite the book again, I mean, why? Add on to it. Yeah, great, funny, wonderful. But just to reboot a movie just for the sake of saying, oh, okay, we got nothing else better to do, so let's reboot this movie. There's millions of other movies that could be worked on, or there are a lot of more writers that need to do more to come up with other ideas, man.
Well, and I think this is where streaming is going to come in. I think really seriously that's where streaming is going to become a factor. Is a lot of these movies that you sit there and you go, okay. A lot of those places like Amazon will take a risk on a film that'll make you 30 or 50 million. They have no problem with doing that.
Right.
Or for example, Netflix. Netflix will do the same thing. They don't necessarily need to make some insane blockbuster, although I know Netflix has got the one we talked about where it's like they have Ryan Reynolds, Gal Gadot, and The Rock, and it's like, geez, right there.
Yeah, I mean, those are big names. Yeah, that's I mean, just on the name power alone, I mean, it's going to to the motion picture. Anything they do around that, it's going to be fluid. I mean, yeah. I mean, when you get the right people and the right story and the right elements together, man. I mean, how can you go wrong with that for 30 or 50 million, right?
You'd think so. I mean, in fairness, and again, I don't want to spoil, but I don't feel like I'm spoiling too much. But Hobbs and Shaw, Ryan Reynolds was in it, and the scenes where him and The Rock are going back and forth are just phenomenal. I mean, they're just great. They're just great. I mean, it's like it's as good as going back. It's like what you would expect. It's like, okay, if Kevin Hart's not available, Ryan Reynolds. Okay, that works.
Okay, so there's no loss of validity. Yeah, okay.
Right. I mean, same kind of chemistry build off of. If anything, I'm waiting for the part where all three of them are in a movie together doing something.
Oh, there we go. All right.
Yeah, Has anyone heard how Kevin Hart's doing after that car accident?
Well, actually, it's funny. How did The Rock end up being like the official spokesperson of Kevin Hart?
I don't know.
I mean, seriously. It's like The Rock gave us an update on Kevin Hart. How about Kevin Hart? Doesn't he have people? Doesn't he have like a publicist or something?
I don't know. I mean, if that's how that's happening, I don't know.
Well, I mean, and it's funny because the Kelly Clarkson show debuted today, and her first guest was supposed to be Kevin Hart.
Oh.
So The Rock cut his honeymoon short to go be the guest on the Kelly Clarkson show. And
wow.
He's like making all kinds of jokes. Like, he's not really my brother. He's my son. He's like, well, we took him to the pediatrician. He's fine. I mean, he's just making jokes like that on a regular basis.
He's busting his balls on TV.
Yeah. Like right in front of Kelly Clarkson too. By the way, I think she might be the next big talk show host. Is Kelly Clarkson?
Kelly Clarkson?
Yeah, she's got the right personality for it.
Yeah, and she's had almost 20 years of stage work and building that.
Yeah, building that.
She's got that feeling too, where she still feels like she's like one of us kind of thing. Because like she'll act that way sometimes when you see her in interviews, where she's like
still kind of humbled.
Yeah, well, it's like she's like the person who you'd be like, I'm just gonna go. She'd be like, yeah, I just went down to the Walmart and picked up some stuff. I mean,
very familiar.
Right, and she's got a little Jessica Simpson in her.
Okay.
A little bit. So I think that. I think she.
Yeah, but she's got a robust, bubbly type of feel to her too. As well.
Right. Well,
kind of a lighter than air type of feel.
Right, and the other thing is that I think Ellen. Don't get me wrong, Ellen's got her place, but I think she'll skew a little younger than Ellen. Well, she's younger. I mean, we're talking most of these kids. If you want millennials, they probably grew up watching Kelly Clarkson on American Idol.
Well, that's true.
God, it was 2001 was the first season of.
Is it somewhere around there? Yeah, that's probably about right. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
No, but yeah, I saw a little bit of it. Her, I wouldn't say she's an amazing interviewer, but she's fun. She certainly seems like she's having a good time.
That's a good thing when you can go to a show like that. I mean, that's very inviting.
Okay.
Well, the thing is that she doesn't look stiff. Like you've seen some of these people who do talk shows where it's like you have no business doing a talk show.
Yeah,
they're going to be done.
They're reading right off the counter, and you know it.
That and just they don't have the stage persona yet.
Right.
They don't have presence about it.
They don't know how to work the crowd.
Right.
Like,
and I mean,
you watch Wayne Brady on Let's Make a Deal. That guy knows how to work a crowd.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Well, and the other thing is, too, there are some people who can work a crowd, and sometimes they don't have the right personality. Like Martin Short can do that, but I don't think he was the right idea for a talk show.
Yeah. And he's got good improv skills, but that's not enough.
Right. And, I like Queen Latifah, but I don't think she was the right... I don't know. I don't think... I didn't...
And Harry Connick Jr. had a show for a while.
Did he really?
He had a talk show for a while. I think it was like one or two seasons, but yeah, it's done.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was going to say.
And, of course, there's Arsenio Hall.
Is he coming back? No, he's not.
There was rumors for a while that he was going to be coming back to the late night show thing, but then it couldn't be seen.
He's reprising his role in the sequel to Coming to America.
Right, that I know, but I don't think he's coming back to do late night.
No.
He's not coming back to do late night.
Oh, okay. So. I guess that's erroneous information. That's why
it was clarity. Like late 80s, early 90s.
Yeah.
And when he did have the show, he did have quite the show.
Right. Yeah. Well, and the thing is that's interesting too is his timing works out well because we're talking about he was doing stuff in the 90s, right around the time that rap and hip hop was making waves.
Yeah, was making the inroads, right?
Right, and guys like Carson and Leno and Letterman, they weren't bringing Snoop Dogg and those guys on yet. Those guys were Dr. Dre or Eazy-E.
Oh yeah,
those guys.
No, because to them it was just like, well, rather it wasn't their forte or their format to do so or whatever. But
forget forte.
But the fact that Arsenio went ahead and just did the groovy thing and said fuck it and just got him on there.
Well, it was his demographic.
Wow.
Exactly, and not only
not
that,
even just his demographic. Keep in mind, he was syndicated, so there was a little bit more wiggle room versus you got a network with those other two guys where it's like, I almost hate to say it, like there's a white guy going, you can't put NWA on here. Are you crazy? What are you thinking?
Well, yeah, I get it. But that was the nature of the beast plan, So
right.
But he took it, and he said, well, fine, if that's how it's got to be, well, then here we are, and they prospered, and Carson and Leno are in the book somewhere on another chapter, man,
Well,
and now he's coming back, and then of course Arsenio coming back for a movie. For Coming to America, yeah, shit, that it works. That'll work out cool for him. I hope it does.
Yeah. Oh, that's what we should talk about.
It's Eddie Murphy.
Eddie Murphy is gonna do a tour in 2020
for
comedy.
He's stand up.
Ooh,
stand up.
Okay.
He's coming back out.
Oh, that's cool.
I'm sure he's got some good stories.
Well, you've seen Raw. Have you seen Raw?
Oh yeah.
Jeez, God. You weren't. Yeah. If back in the 80s, if you were on the playground and you didn't see Raw, you weren't in on all the jokes. And
here's the thing.
Right.
Here's how much Raw was a big deal. There were I saw it in the theater. I didn't wait till later. We're gonna watch.
I saw
it now.
I think maybe my brother-in-law saw it but I saw it on cable. It was running ad nauseum on cable.
Right.
Back in the day.
But
right.
I remember going to the theater to go see Raw. But
yeah, I'm sure he's got some good stories to tell.
Well, that's going to be the interesting question is,
what's he going to drop?
What's this going to sound? Yeah, what's this going to sound like?
Because we're talking at the time and place that he was doing all of that type of comedy. That was a whole different society.
Yeah.
That was a different world.
Yeah.
Now we have all of this other atmosphere that we're experiencing now in this society. Now, do you think his type of comedy is going to hit way too hard on some points, or maybe he might know how to maneuver around that possibility?
Or maybe he'll be all like IDGAF and just going to go the Dave Chappelle route.
Yeah, I was going to say, or he's going to go the Chappelle route and go, you know what? Fuck it, I'm going to do me. And
do the same stuff they did got laughs 30 years ago.
Yeah, obviously,
in his new categories, his new stories, he's not going to lose any of the luster, that made all of his stuff 30 years ago so good.
There's a lot of material for him too. Shoot.
Oh,
there's that whole thing about where he was supposedly with transvestites, wasn't that, or something?
Yeah, yeah, that's right.
Didn't he have a kid with Mel B? Or no, is that the wrong part?
I don't know.
Spice Girls.
I don't know that for sure.
There's a lot of crazy. Eddie has had a lot of crazy stuff, like Michael Jackson kind of. Well, not Michael Jackson.
Well, not quite Michael Jackson.
Well, he knew Michael. He's
maybe Prince crazy. Yeah,
Yeah, Eddie's had some weird stuff in the background for a while.
Well, I mean, here's a guy who, went ahead, he wanted to party all the time, had a single head hit with the single.
Yeah.
And, and they still request that to this day.
You know what's really funny about that? Here's the funny part. Eddie Murphy making fun of Michael Jackson's voice. And the first time I heard Party All the Time, I'm like, somebody said, oh, that's Eddie Murphy. I'm like, that's Eddie Murphy? Oh, Michael Jackson should give him shit all the time for how he sounds on that song.
Yeah, okay.
He sounds like he has no nutsack.
You're right about that. But the fucking people loved it, though. I mean,
it's a good song.
If it wasn't in your arsenal, man, you're gonna get.
He did. Didn't he do a song with Michael Jackson? I seem to remember a video.
He was in the video for "Remember the Time."
No, they did a song together. I'm pretty sure of this.
I don't know that, but that'd be interesting to find out, though.
I'm positive I remember seeing something.
Yeah, because I'd like to know where that's at. Shit.
It was bad, though.
It must not have been very good if it was.
Okay, because I know that Eddie Murphy was, he did the background singles on some other people too.
Yes, there is a song. That's what it is. There is a song. It's from 2000. This is 2000s. Well, no, this is not 2007. But yeah, there's a song. There's some. I don't want to bring this up because it's going to bring up the vocals. But something is it?
I mean, what's the name of the track?
It's from 1993. It's called "What's Up with You."
Oh yeah, I just heard that wasn't just not very good.
R&B, Eddie Murphy featuring Michael Jackson.
What's Up with You?
Mm-hmm. And I remember it because it's him and Michael Jackson in this video, and there's clouds, and it's really weird. And I'm like, I don't get it.
Yeah, it's just not good.
And it wasn't very good. I remember it not being very good. You're 100% right, Mike. I remember it not being good.
What's up with you? Oh, now I gotta find this fucking thing.
Oh, I
gotta find it, man. I gotta find it. I mean, just to enjoy just seeing, what it is,
By the way,
what?
We do have one more. The only other thing I can think of is, so Joker wins the film festival in Venice.
Not a surprise.
The Joker movie?
Yeah, the Joker movie that's coming out. Won the film festival.
Okay.
And they're saying they're saying that they think it's going to track bigger than Deadpool.
That's a big claim.
Well, see, this is why I laugh when people sit there and say it's when you Mike, when you said about superheroes, it'll eventually die out. Not if they can start making superhero movies that win Academy Awards, like for Best Picture and stuff. Then
we've had movies like that are critically acclaimed, and then when you hit theaters, they fizzle. But this one will, because of the name. I mean, one of the best comic book villains of all time.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right. So.
Right. It's.
But it's not a comic book movie. Obviously, that's quite clear.
Yeah. No, this is.
Well, it's a standalone story.
Well, it's not even. They changed the origins and a lot of things. I mean, it is Gotham.
But there won't be any costumed heroes, though. So.
Right. I don't think there. I mean.
Oh, and that trailer dropped for Jojo Rabbit. I think I might need to see that. That looks funny.
I don't know that one.
It's directed by Taika Waititi. It's about a young boy in Germany where his imaginary friend is Hitler.
Boy.
And he's played by Taika. That looks funny. The trailer dropped and it had like a German version of I'm a Believer by the Monkees.
Oh,
on the track.
Okay.
Looks funny. Sam Rockwell, ScarJo's in it. Rebel Wilson's in it.
Oh, okay.
It looks like it could be funny.
I'd like to see that.
But yeah, the Joker movie, I'm gonna see it. It's not a question. I'm gonna see it.
Oh,
yeah.
Joaquin's a good actor, and It's going to be a great performance.
Well, yeah, and we still got like what, about a month until?
I think it's October. I think it's October 1st. I think because now they're competing with the big It Part 2, which was just dropped last weekend. It made like a crap ton of money because the first one was very successful. So
yeah.
I heard Bill Hader's very good in it.
Maybe
I'm just not big on horror, so that's not my bag. So I'm
right. Yeah, I'm not big on that either. So that's not my thing.
That makes three of us. I mean,
right. You know.
Yeah, I mean, I like to be scared. I like the element of surprise, but when they start cutting and the face mask and the look and everything, it's can't do it. You know, when it goes too far.
Did I tell you I came really close to renting that new Men in Black movie? I came real close, and I was like,
I don't know. I could see it for free. I can handle that. That way,
I don't know. I'm with you. I'm like, I don't know.
Because they're two good actors, but I don't care about this universe. I mean, I saw the first one. I was with Ivan way back in '97. We saw the first Men in Black. And after the first movie, I was like, okay, I'm done. I don't need to see any others. And they did like two more. I didn't even see them. Didn't care. And now this one's come along. It's like the sequel nobody asked for, or a reboot that nobody asked for. I'm like,
And it blew out its face.
Yeah.
So
I think it did well. Maybe it did well overseas, but I don't think it did.
Well, you know what? But certain things don't need to be. This brings us back to the original point of, why do we keep rebooting all this shit? Why?
I don't know.
Because we have the member berries. We have the nostalgia.
Because people want. Because people go. In fairness, I did see the second and third one. I think I saw the third one though. I don't think I went to the movies to see the third one. I can't remember. Because I like Will Smith. I'll go through that.
Will Smith's a great actor. I mean, he's got some nice things.
And the two had a good screen dynamic.
Yeah. Right, they did.
He's been in some clunkers though of late.
All right, clunkers. I mean, Judgment Day. No, yeah.
What?
Judgment Day's a long time. Independence Day, you mean?
Independence Day. That's what.
That was not a clunker. That made a crap ton of money.
That made a crap ton. That's kind of the.
No, it was that space one he did with his son. That one was.
Yeah, that was bad.
That was bad.
That was bad. There's a couple others that are.
Yeah, this Gemini Man is coming like next month. We talked about.
Yeah, that looks dumb.
Yeah, it does.
I don't.
I'm not driven to see it. I mean, I saw the rushes in the theater, but I was like,
Yeah, no, I'm like, I keep sitting there going, when's Jean-Claude Van Damme going to show up?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm kind of like, haven't we seen this before?
We've seen this kind of formula before, yeah.
Yeah, and it's not fun. And it'd be different if they were funny, but they're not funny.
They're not being funny. They're so serious, and then it's like, do I not now and wait till it gets to the good part, or what?
There's two of them.
Right, there's two of them, and neither of them are funny.
It's like, remember, like they do that like on the old 70s TV show, and they had like the gratuitous like split screen, like you can totally tell. It's the same actor, just two different shots.
Yes,
well, the thing is though,
really
here's
bad
where
composite.
But I mean, if it had been too, I mean, if it had been Will Smith with Will Smith as a buddy movie. Maybe
if one of the Geminis were funny and he played against himself, that
that might work.
Yeah, we talked about this the other day or last week. We talked about him where he can can interact with teenage Will Smith like Fresh Prince.
Yeah, that's right. We did talk
exactly.
About that.
Now that would be cool. See, that would be cool.
Yeah, but unfortunately, that's not the movie we're getting. So,
by the way, apparently Eddie Murphy. I think Eddie Murphy's in that Dolomite movie too, isn't he? I heard good things about that. Yeah, my name is Dolomite.
So. I think that's worth checking, if anything. I think so, though.
Yes, he is. He's in this. My name is Dolomite.
Oh hell yeah! Okay.
Which is also another. It looks like we're gonna maybe Eddie Murphy finally gets his opportunity at an Oscar.
Well, he had the Best Supporting Actor nomination in Dreamgirls.
Yeah, and then Norbert came out.
Yeah, then
Norbert took him to the shitter.
Yeah, that was bad timing.
That was real bad. Oh my God! I mean, I saw the rushes for that. I'm like, I didn't even go see it. I was like, nah, please.
This is that part where Eddie wanted to make money and he didn't care how much, and it was like, I'm gonna take anything.
He was like, he was an Eddie shit at this point.
Right, and the problem is, at that point, it was, hey, Eddie could win a supporting actor nomination, and then that came out at the exact same time. During that, and everybody was like, "We can't give it to this guy." No way.
I don't think so.
Nope.
I remember
the end of that.
Did he make who made the album Owl? Was that Chunky D? I don't know if it was Eddie Murphy or Arsenio Hall. He came up with a rap album. It was called Owl.
I think that might be Arsenio. It's funny. I'm looking at this. I'm looking at like this whole month, and I'm like, okay, is there anything? Although we kind of went over it already.
I just need to cut a tangent, but
I might go see Hustlers. I might.
I hear. Well, the word on the street is that J-Lo is very good in it, and could earn her an Oscar nomination.
Right, and there's a few other people in that. Oh, by the way, she apparently. Wow, this really could be the year for J-Lo because there's talk of her being halftime for the Super Bowl, too.
Ooh.
Yeah.
J-Wo.
I have a feeling she won't be doing that lap dance that she did
I thought
at the show.
Jay-Z was doing the halftime this year.
Oh, that's an interesting question. Why did I see something about...
That's what we're looking into, yeah. Maybe they're both doing it. Wouldn't that be something?
There's an idea.
2 J's at the Super Bowl?
Double J at the Super Bowl.
Brought to you by Jay's Potato Chips.
That's right. You can't eat just one.
And now we got 2 J's, a Jay-Z and a J-Lo, with my Jay's Potato Chips.
That's right.
See,
unless I'm missing something.
I should do marketing.
Unless I'm missing something, this Joker movie's gonna run wild in October.
Yeah.
I don't. Oh no, Zombieland's coming out.
Zombieland too.
Zombieland. That'll be where it ends.
So, any other news? Can we wrap it up? What do we got here else left?
I don't think we got anything.
I don't have anything here.
It's been slow lately. I just don't have. You know what? Part of it is
it's been a short week and stuff.
It's not even that. It's not that it's a short week. You know what it is? I'm running out of TV. If I'm being honest, I'm running out of TV shows.
Now you're running out of time to get the first season of Cobra Kai for free.
Yeah, I know. I think that's why it's not going to happen.
There's only 2 days left, I think.
Right. I'm like, I'm never going to get it.
Okay, my chief for the world. Well, the CW came to 26, so now I can see it.
Yeah. Well, and it's funny. I feel like that's where I'm at right now. Is it's like I'm ready for. I mean, there's a few things I'm kind of watching, but really, in reality, I'm kind of ready for fall TV season. I really am. I'm like, okay, let's do this.
Mr. Summertime's ready to hang up his swimming trunks and
no, I don't know about that.
Raking his leaves, watching a little TV.
No, I'm not ready. I'm not ready to do that. I'm not ready to do that. I'm ready to have fall TV. I'm not ready to have fall weather.
I'm sitting here listening to Mike go through this stuff, and I'm thinking, why isn't he making $100,000 a year?
Who?
Mike.
I ask myself that question every morning when I have to get up for work.
I mean, I've always admired your chops. Okay, that was out of left field, but okay. Just figured I'd let you know.
Wow.
You still have the voice.
He's laying it on pretty thick this week, Jeff.
Yes. Yeah, well, you know.
Anywho.
That's because he's not going to be here next week.
Yeah, he won't. Yeah, he's making up for not. He knows. Yeah, he won't be here. He'll be in the coal mine next week.
You know, it dawns on me. Okay, so we don't have Ivan next week. Maybe guest host time. You got anybody? Maybe it's guest host time. We could do that.
Who do you want to get? Who going to get for a guest? I mean,
I don't know. I don't know.
Guest. We'll get a mystery guest.
Yeah, maybe we'll get a mystery guest. I don't know. I'll go on yours. I'm willing to go on your side first, Mike, of pulling some people before I start pulling from me. But
how about Matt?
Matt? Who?
Nah, he works late. He has 2 jobs.
Okay.
I'll figure something out.
We'll figure something out.
Yeah. So, Ivan, you got any plugs for this week? This weekend? What are you doing this weekend?
Okay, well, here's what I'm doing. I'm at Logan Arcade. I'll be appearing with the Superhero Soul Dijon Holiday, 9 p.m. to 2 a.m. over at 2410 West Fullerton, Logan Arcade. Free pinball in the front and
what
specials.
Night?
That's Wednesday night. This Wednesday night.
Okay, well, the episode drops Wednesday night, so.
Okay, so oops, I'm sorry.
Well, something else dropped this a little sooner.
Okay, and then let's see. And then Saturday, I'm going to be doing a show with John Forbes over at Cafe Mustache. I'll be hosting John Forbes, and that's at 2313 North Milwaukee Avenue. That'll be Saturday night from 9 to 3. And then, of course, the Sweet Soulful Sunday concert.
What? I'm
sorry?
What
are you doing?
Sweet Soulful.
Say again, please.
Sunday. Sweet Soulful Sunday at Logan Arcade. Sweet Soulful Sunday.
And then on Monday, you're going to be at?
I'm going to be at Kohl's. Music for Night Owls.
That's the Target.
Yeah, that's right. No, 2320 North Milwaukee Avenue. It's right across the street from the Cafe Mustache. Can't miss it. And I
need a shredder.
And I'll be there from 10 to 2.
Hey, Mike, do you think we have a gift card for Kohl's? I don't think I have one. Do you?
No, Scott says it's the coal mine. He's in a coal mine.
Oh, he's
and Ivan, I want to thank you. Last week, thank you for sharing that video from the Cybertronic Spree.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. Yeah, I wanted to get that out there, and
you were like right on the stage. You were like up on the side the steps on the side of the stage.
Yeah. I mean, I want I wanted to remember it, man. I mean, it was a great time, dude.
Yeah, you got a lot of video on your phone. When we hook up next weekend, I want to see some of that.
I'll transfer all that video to you. That way we're close together and it goes over real well.
Okay.
And I got a bunch of pictures too that I want to get to you.
Cool.
Yeah. So and then
okay. Well, good luck at Kohl's next week, and get a sweater.
Okay.
It's going to get cold out next week.
And a muffler.
I'll take the chill out of the air, boys, and be catching up with you on the following week. Okay.
Okay. Jeff, what do you got going this week?
What do I got? I don't think I really have much of anything this week. I do know on the 21st at the Niles Library, I believe it starts at 9:30. There's a storytelling event with Barry Mixon, who is a phenomenal storyteller. Cool. And that is 9:30 to, I want to say, 1 something. So it's like I think it's like a 3 or 4 hour event. But that's on the 21st, so we've got a little bit of time, and you can probably Google this, I like I said, I've been putting it out on my page, but that's something you can check out. And then trying to think of anything else. Midwest Speaking Professionals, if you are looking to become a professional presenter, you should pop on by on Sunday night. As a matter of fact, there is we're going to have a preview of one of the TEDx presenters for the Vernon Area Library TEDx that's coming up. That's coming up too. The Vernon Area Library TEDx on September 22nd. Although I will tell you, I think tickets might be sold out. But it should be a pretty good they're going to have 4 live presenters. And trying to think of anything else off the top of my head. That's what I got for now. That's other than squares.
Okay, well then, cool. I guess that'll wrap it up for episode 67. Not to be confused with 66.
Yes.
We're on Instagram and Twitter at SOTRT Podcast. We're on Facebook and You can listen and watch sometimes our crazy news articles from our sister show, News of the Squared. Shout out to Scott.
Scott!
We're on Podbean and Anchor. Download the free apps or go to Anchor's website. I think you can listen to us through Spotify. I'm not sure. I'd have to check into that. We're on YouTube. Click the bell. Subscribe. You'll know when new content drops. And, of course, email us at sotrtpodcast@gmail.com.
Yeah, we need to. That's something I got to look into is how we get us on iTunes and all that stuff.
Money.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
We have to create an RSS feed. I don't know.
Oh, do you?
That's a little bit of inside baseball. I'm not sure.
Maybe some fancy football.
No fancy football. Fantasy either. So with that, I appreciate y'all for listening, and we'll catch you next time here at the Squares the Round Table podcast.
Don't forget us.
We won't forget you, Ivan.